I'm Xavier, a slave trapped in the ice pack. Every day is a fight to survive the cold and cruelty. This cold cell has been my home for years, a place of pain and endless fear. Last night, Gilbert's claws left this mark. I thought being his mate would save me. The cell door creaked open, and I froze. He was here, and I knew the worst was coming. He's the cold alpha of the ice pack, feared by everyone, including me. His icy blue eyes narrowed, and I saw no mercy, no hint of the mate bond we shared. He reached through the bars, his hand moving toward me like a predator closing in on prey. I shrank back against the wall, my heart pounding so hard I thought it would burst. His hand wrapped around my throat, cutting off my breath. I could feel his strength, his disdain. I looked into his eyes, begging silently for mercy, but he showed none. Then he spoke, and the words shattered every last piece of hope I had left. Before I could scream, he snarled the words that would break me forever. "I reject you, Xavier." His voice was like ice, piercing straight to my soul. I felt my body go limp, all the strength draining from me. I was nothing to him. He let go, and I crumpled to the frozen floor, left to die in the cold I knew so well. The cell door slammed shut, leaving me alone with my pain and the endless cold. I could barely move, but I knew I couldn't stay here. I had to escape or die trying. I crawled toward the door, every movement a struggle against the cold and the pain in my chest. Somehow, I clung to a tiny spark of hope. Maybe I could get out, maybe someone would find me. But as the cold seeped into my bones, I wondered if this was how my story would end. Then I felt the locket around my neck, Alayla's gift. It gave me the strength to keep going. I grabbed the iron bars, shaking them with the last of my strength, screaming for anyone to hear me. My voice was raw, but I kept screaming, praying that someone, anyone, would listen. But the only answer was silence, the cold, empty silence of the ice pack. I woke up half dead in the frozen woods, Gilbert's cruel rejection still echoing in my head. The cold bit into my bones, and I thought this was where I'd die forgotten and alone. Every breath hurt, the mark of Gilbert's claws burning on my neck like a brand. I dragged myself through the frost, not knowing where to go, only that I couldn't go back. The forest seemed to swallow me whole, and I felt all hope slipping away. My vision blurred, and I closed my eyes, ready to let the cold take me. But then, a shadow fell over me. I forced my eyes open, confused. A man stood there, half his face hidden by a mask. His eyes were warm, nothing like Gilbert's ice. He held out a hand. For the first time in years, I dared to hope. He lifted me effortlessly, like I weighed nothing, and carried me toward a distant car. The mask slipped, and I caught a glimpse of his warm brown eyes, a stark contrast to the cold I'd known. He laid me gently in the passenger seat, his movements careful, not rough. My fingers still blue with cold, I clung to the seat, unsure what to expect. He got in the driver's seat, started the car, and we drove away from the woods. The ice pack's towers faded behind us, and for the first time, I felt safe. As we drove, he murmured one word, soft but clear. Axel. My name is Axel. I repeated the name in my head, Axel. It sounded like a promise of warmth. I touched the locket around my neck, a gift from Alayla, and hoped she was safe. The warmth of the car and the sound of his steady breathing made me sleepy. I closed my eyes, finally letting my guard down. As the sun rose, painting the sky gold, I knew my life was about to change for the better. I could feel his steady gaze on me sometimes, like he was making sure I was okay. The ride was quiet, but not the cold silence I was used to. This was a gentle, safe quiet. I drifted in and out of sleep, not fully awake, but not fully unconscious either. When I woke again, I stared at his profile, wondering who this man really was. In the distance, I could see the outline of buildings warm, welcoming, nothing like the ice pack. I woke up in a room that felt like a dream. No cold, no fear, just warmth. This was the Lichen Pack Axel's home, the place that saved me. Helen, the head maid, told me I was safe here, that Axel had brought me in. She left a tray of warm food, her kindness a foreign feeling after so much cruelty. I still couldn't believe it. I was free, not a slave anymore, not a victim. I touched the locket Alayla gave me, wondering if she was safe back in the ice pack. Then the door opened, and there he was, Axel, the Lichen King who'd saved my life. He didn't look at me like I was weak, like Gilbert did. He looked at me like a person. He set down a stack of business books he'd remembered my dream of learning. For the first time in years, someone saw me not a slave, not a mate, just me. The door burst open, and Jason Axel's beta stood there, his voice urgent. He leaned in, whispering something to Axel, his face serious. Axel's jaw tightened, and he glanced at me, a flicker of worry in his eyes. I knew then my past wasn't done with me yet. The ice pack wasn't letting me go. Gilbert's men are searching for her, Jason said, his voice sharp with urgency. My blood ran cold. Gilbert wasn't just letting me escape that easily. Axel stepped in front of me, his body tensing like he was ready to fight to protect me. You're safe here, he said, his voice steady. I won't let them take you back. Jason moved to the window, scanning the grounds. We weren't taking any chances. I gripped my locket tight. I wasn't the scared slave anymore. I was going to fight for this freedom. Axel joined Jason, plotting how to keep me safe. They weren't going to let Gilbert win. The sun hit my face, and I knew I wasn't going back to the cold, to the pain, not ever again. I'm finally safe here, but every punch reminds me how different Axel is from Gilbert. Gilbert fought to dominate. Axel, he fights to protect. And that's not the only difference. I still wonder if Alayla's safe, if Gilbert's cruelty didn't reach her too. The training ground felt safe, but I still felt alone, until I heard the door creak. I thought it was just Helen, making the place feel like home. But then I saw her, Alayla, my best friend. the only person who ever truly cared about me. I ran to her, and for the first time in months, I let myself cry. No more pretending to be strong. Then her smile faded. She saw the scar on my neck, the one Gilbert left when he rejected me. Her anger was hotter than any fire I'd ever felt. She wasn't going to let him get away with it. She stood in front of me, like a shield, and I knew no one would hurt me again, not while she was here. I told her everything. The cold cells, the beatings, the rejection that almost killed me. She cried with me, not just for what happened, but for all the pain I'd hidden for so long. Axel found us then. He didn't interrupt. He just stood there, like he understood what it meant to have someone who cares. He brought me hot cocoa, just like he did the first day I woke up here. Small things that mean everything. They exchanged a look, a promise, that no matter what Gilbert did, they'd keep me safe. Alayla held my hand tight. For the first time, I didn't feel like a victim. I felt like I had a family. The kitchen felt like home, warm, safe, full of laughter, but I knew Gilbert wouldn't let me be happy for long. Then the wind chime by the door rang, and my heart dropped. I knew who was here. We all turned to the door. Alayla's hand went to her pocket. Axel's posture tensed. Gilbert had found me. He looked broken, nothing like the cruel alpha who'd rejected me. But I wasn't ready to forgive him. Not yet. After Alayla fell asleep, I found myself sitting in the lichen-packed garden with Axel, finally feeling at peace. He didn't mention Gilbert, didn't push me to talk. He just listened. For the first time in years, I felt brave enough to say what I really wanted. I told him I wanted to go back to school, to study business, to build something for myself. He didn't laugh. He didn't tell me it was impossible. He just nodded, like my words mattered. Then his hand brushed mine, warm against my skin. My heart raced, but not from fear. It was the first time a man had touched me without hurting me. For the first time, I felt seen. But the peace didn't last. A guard's shout cut through the quiet, sharp, and urgent. He was shouting about Gilbert. Ice Pack Alpha Gilbert. Here, asking for me. Axel stood instantly, his body tensing between me and the gate, ready to protect me. I stood up, my legs shaking so bad I thought I'd fall. He was here. Gilbert was here, and I had to face him. I wasn't that broken slave from the ice pack anymore. I wouldn't let him break me again. Axel kept a hand on my back, steadying me as we walked toward the entrance hall. I could feel my past closing in. When I saw him, I almost didn't recognize him. He wasn't the cold, arrogant alpha I remembered. He looked broken. His eyes were red-rimmed, like he hadn't slept in weeks. For a second, I felt a flicker of pity. But Axel growled, stepping forward, ready to keep him away. He wouldn't let Gilbert hurt me again. I held up a hand, stopping him. I needed to hear what Gilbert had to say. I needed closure. He took a step forward, his voice cracking as he started to speak. "I'm sorry, Xavier." The words hung in the air, heavy. I didn't know if I could forgive him, but I had to try to listen. When he reached for me, I flinched, and his face crumpled. He realized some wounds don't heal with an apology. Axel stepped closer, shielding me completely, his presence a warm, safe wall between me and my past. He didn't push me. He just stood there looking like he wanted to disappear. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness," he said, "but I need you to know, I love you." The words hit me harder than any claw ever could. I froze. Did he really mean it? Or was it just the mate bond pulling at him? I looked at Axel, and I saw the answer. He didn't need to say anything, he just knew. I thought I'd never face him again, but there he stood broken, not the cruel alpha I knew. The air turned thick with tension, Axel instantly positioning himself between me and my worst memories. My hands curled into tight fists, old fear shooting through me as he took a single step forward. He moved toward me slowly, his voice cracking as he whispered he was sorry. All the years of cold cells, beatings, and cruel words flooded back, making my throat tight. The old scar on my neck throbbed, a reminder of the pain he'd inflicted without a second thought. Axel growled, stepping forward to shield me completely, his posture screaming that he'd never let me get hurt again. He said he didn't mean to reject me, that he'd been blind to what he had. He reached for me, his hand trembling like he expected me to flinch away. And I did flinch. Some wounds don't heal with just an apology, no matter how sincere it sounds. His hand froze midair, and his face crumpled when he saw how badly I still feared him. Alayla's gaze burned into him, silent fury radiating from every inch of her. The hall fell dead silent, the only sound the crackling of torches on the walls. He took a shaky breath, and I knew what he was going to say before the words left his mouth. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness," he said, "but I need you to know I love you." I stared at him, my heart a war between old pain and the faint stir of something softer. Axel's hand found my shoulder, warm and steady, a reminder that I wasn't alone anymore. His face crumpled like he already knew what my answer would be. The air hung heavy with unspoken words, the past and present colliding in that single moment. I took a deep breath, ready to say the words that would finally close this chapter of my life. Every eye was on me, and for the first time, I didn't feel small or afraid, I felt strong. I couldn't sleep a wink last night, Gilbert's words looping in my head like a broken record. I wandered to the library at dawn, desperate for a distraction from my tangled thoughts. I flipped through Axel's business books when something small and fell out, stopping me cold. It was him, Gilbert as a kid, smiling bright with his mom, nothing like the cold alpha I knew. I didn't even notice Axel leaning in the doorway, watching me with that quiet understanding. He didn't push me to talk, just sat down and started explaining a tricky business term from the book. For a little while, I forgot about Gilbert. I forgot the pain and just focused on his voice. Then the door knocked, sharp and urgent, and I knew trouble was coming. Jason stepped in, his usual sarcastic grin gone, holding a sealed letter in his hand. The wax seal bore the ice pack's wolf emblem, sending a chill down my spine. Axel stood up instantly, his soft look gone, replaced by the sharp gaze of a king ready to act. He crossed the room and handed the letter to Axel, his voice tight with urgency. As Axel broke the seal, his jaw tightened, and I could feel the tension in the air thicken. The words on the page made his eyes narrow. Something was very wrong back at the ice pack. My own hands curled into fists, my throat dry with dread. What had happened now? Axel looked up at Jason, his voice cold and sharp as he spoke the words I'd feared. The ice pack elders are revolting, he said. They want Gilbert back, or they'll attack. My blood ran cold. After everything Gilbert had done to me, his pack was now threatening war to get him back. The room went dead silent, each of us realizing the weight of what this meant. Axel's hand landed on my shoulder, firm and steady, and I knew we wouldn't face this alone. But what choice would we make? Jason turned to leave, already moving to gather our warriors, and I knew time was no longer on our side. I never thought I'd face this choice going back to the place that broke me. Gilbert knelt before me, begging for help to save his crumbling ice pack. He said the ice pack elders were revolting, ready to tear everything apart. Alayla snapped she couldn't bear seeing me dragged back to that hell. But Axel stayed silent, his eyes watching me like he already knew my answer. My fingers curled into fists, memories of cold cells and pain flooding my mind. Please, Xavier, he whispered. I can't fix this without you. Don't do it, she shouted. He'll only hurt you again. Then Axel spoke, his voice steady as he said, It's your choice, Xavier. I'll support you. Something shifted in me, fear faded, replaced by a strange sense of purpose. I pushed my chair back, my legs steady as I stood tall. The room went dead silent, every eye locked on me. My voice came out stronger than I expected, no trace of fear left. Gilbert's face crumpled in relief. He thought I'd say no. Alayla's shoulders fell, but she didn't argue. She knew I had to do this. Axel walked to my side, his hand on my shoulder, a quiet promise of support. I touched the locket Alayla gave me, a reminder of why I had to be strong. Gilbert stood, straightening his ragged clothes, and nodded at me in thanks. As he walked out the door, I knew my life was about to change forever. Axel's eyes held mine, and I knew no matter what came next, we'd face it together. Alayla pulled me into a tight hug, whispering, Be careful, I'll be waiting for you. The map on the table stared up at me, a reminder of the journey ahead. I grabbed the map, my fingers wrapping around it like it held my future. The meeting was over, but the real challenge was just beginning. My feet moved on their own, carrying me toward the door and toward my fate. Axel handed me a glass of water, his touch gentle as my hand brushed his. A jolt ran through me. This was the first time I felt truly safe with someone. Alayla stared out the window, watching the lichen pack grounds she'd grown to love. The strategy board held notes about ice pack's defenses. We'd need every bit of that info. I stood back at the ice pack gates, my chest tight with fear and stupid hope. Gilbert said he'd changed, that he'd fixed everything that hurt me. I wanted to believe him, but old scars don't fade that fast. He led me through the halls, his steps slow like he was afraid I'd run. The place still felt cold, still felt like a prison I never escaped. He kept fidgeting, like he was hiding something just out of my sight. He showed me his room, said he'd torn out all the cold cells. It looked nice, too nice. Then my eye caught something under the bed, a glint of metal I didn't recognize. My heart hammered as I reached for it, a stupid dread coiling in my gut. It was a locket, not mine, a woman's, with a tiny engraving I didn't recognize. He walked in right then, his face draining white when he saw what I held. I held it up, my voice cold as ice. Who does this belong to? He stumbled over his words, waving his hands like he could make it disappear. She was a fling, he said. It didn't mean anything. I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. Of course, he hadn't changed. He called after me, begging for another chance. I didn't turn back. I twisted the doorknob, my grip so tight my knuckles ached. I was done with lies. I didn't cry. I just walked, one foot in front of the other, out of that castle. The cold wind hit my face, but it felt like freedom, not prison. I walked toward the woods, away from him, away from the lies. I knew where I belonged now. I clutched Alayla's locket tight against my chest. This was my real anchor. I didn't look back, but I knew he was watching. Too little, too late. My footprints marked the snow behind me, proof I'd escaped again, this time for good. For the first time in years, I felt light, like I could finally breathe again. I turned toward the lichen pack, toward Axel, toward the life I deserved. No more cold, no more lies. I'd made my choice, no more being Gilbert's second option. I was leaving the ice pack for good. The night air bit at my skin, but I didn't care. I just had to get out before Gilbert found me. Before I could take another step, rough hands clamped down on my arms. Gilbert's guards had found me. I fought, kicking and screaming, but they were too strong. I was being dragged back to the castle, back to Gilbert. As the castle loomed ahead, I felt all hope fade. I thought this was the end for me. Tears froze on my cheeks. I thought I was free, but I was just a prisoner all over again. The heavy gates clanged shut behind us, and I knew there was no escaping this time. Gilbert was standing there, his face pale and haunted. Part of me thought he might help until he spoke. You think you can just leave? He spat. You belong to me. I don't belong to anyone, I snarled back. Not even you. Before he could reply, a deafening crash shook the hall. The gates were being battered down. There, in the wreckage of the gates, stood Axel. With him were dozens of lichen warriors, their eyes blazing. The lichens poured into the hall, weapons drawn. The guards froze, they knew they were outmatched. Axel strode toward me, and the guards scrambled back. I stood there, frozen, unable to believe he'd come for me. He took my hand in his grip warm and firm. "I told you I'd protect you," he said, his voice steady. We walked toward the gates, and I didn't look back at Gilbert. I didn't need to this time. I was truly free. As we stepped outside, the cold air hit me, but I didn't feel it. For the first time, I felt safe. I looked up at Axel, and I knew. He was my safe haven, my everything. Axel pulled me closer, sheltering me from the wind. "You'll never be hurt again," he whispered. We walked away from the ice pack toward the sunrise, toward our future. The locket Alayla gave me glinted in the moonlight, a reminder of the friends and love waiting for me. With each step, I felt lighter. I wasn't a slave anymore. I was Xavier, and I was free. Axel's hand squeezed mine, reassuring me. "We're almost home," he said, and I knew he meant it. As the lichen pack towers came into view, I smiled. This was where I belonged. We looked at each other, and I knew. No matter what came next, we'd face it together. I was finally free. For the first time in forever, I felt truly safe. No fear clinging to my bones. Even Alayla looked peaceful, like the darkness of our past was finally fading away. This little locket, it was the only thing that kept me going through the cold cells. As we pulled into the lichen pack, I realized this was where I belonged now. Everyone was there, grinning like they'd been waiting for me to come home. Helen hugged me tight, and for a second, I forgot all about Gilbert and the ice pack. Axel laced his fingers through mine and led me toward the garden, the very same one where we first talked. That bench held every kind word, every fragile hope he'd ever given me. We sat there in silence, and I thought maybe this was all I ever needed. Then I heard it footsteps, fast and urgent, cutting through the quiet. A messenger skidded to a halt, holding a sealed scroll like it held the world. I watched his face shift from calm to something bright, something like hope. My heart raced. What could make him look like that? Then he looked at me, and the words hit me like a wave. "Your business school application was accepted." I couldn't believe it. The dream I'd hidden away for years, it was real. He pulled me into his arms, and I let myself cry, happy tears for once. The locket Alayla gave me glinted in the sun, like it was cheering me on too. I heard Alayla's laugh before I saw her, and Jason was right behind her, grinning like a fool. For the first time in my life, I was surrounded by people who truly cared, who celebrated me. As I looked at the horizon, I knew this was just the start of something extraordinary. The seal on the scroll was real. This wasn't a dream. This was my future. Helen even brought out hot cocoa and treats, like we were celebrating a royal victory. The warm steam curled up into the air, matching the warmth in my chest. In the warm lichen pack kitchen, I finally found a moment of peace I never dared to dream of. Helen taught us to bake, Alayla joked around, and Axel watched, his eyes soft with warmth I'd never known. Of course, Alayla managed to burn the cookies, just like old times, when we were kids in the ice pack. Axel brought me business textbooks, supporting my dream of going back to school, something no one ever cared about before. For the first time in my life, I felt like I belonged somewhere, like I was truly safe. But that peace shattered the second I heard the knock on the door, a sound I never wanted to hear again. My smile dropped instantly. I knew that presence, the one I'd tried so hard to forget. It was Gilbert, broken, guilty, not the cruel alpha I'd known. But he wasn't alone. Axel stepped in front of me instantly, Alayla's hands curled into fists. We all knew Gilbert's arrival meant trouble, but the woman beside him, she was nothing like Gilbert. Her smile was warm, her eyes kind, not a hint of cruelty. Gilbert looked like he was about to break, his hands clenched so tight, his knuckles turned white. He took a shaky step forward, like he was afraid I'd run before he could speak. I stared at him, my heart racing. I wanted to run, but I also wanted to know why he was here. When he finally spoke, his voice was hoarse, nothing like the cold growl I remembered from the ice pack. "This is my sister, Kate," he said. "She wants to meet you." I froze. What could his sister possibly want with me? My hand curled into the fabric of my shirt, my locket pressing against my chest. I had no idea what to expect. Alayla's voice was sharp with anger, ready to tell him to leave before I could even speak. But Axel's hand on my shoulder calmed me. "It's your choice," he said quietly. "I'll support you no matter what." I took a deep breath, looking at Kate's kind face and Gilbert's guilty eyes. I had to find out what she wanted. "Okay," I said, my voice steady. "Let's talk." I had no idea this choice would change everything again. I never thought I'd sit across from Gilbert's sister, my heart tangled with fear and curiosity. Kate's smile was warm, nothing like the cold cruelty I knew from her brother. She started talking, and I could hear the guilt in every word. She apologized for Gilbert, said she'd tried to stop his cruelty all those years. I sat there, silent, as she told me Gilbert was seeing a healer to fix his anger. Gilbert? Getting help? I thought I'd never hear those words. She said he'd been broken since rejecting me, finally facing his demons. My past came flooding back the cold cells, the pain, the rejection. Then the door opened, and there he was broken. Not the cold alpha I remembered. He walked slowly, like every step hurt, and I felt a strange pity instead of fear. His eyes were full of tears, and I saw the truth. He truly regretted what he'd done. He stopped in front of me, his voice cracking as he spoke. "Will you give me 6 months?" he begged. "To prove I've changed for good." My mind raced. Should I trust him? Could he really change after all that pain? Axel's hand on my shoulder grounded me. He didn't push, just let me decide. I glanced at Alayla, her eyes filled with worry, and knew what I had to do. I sat up straight, my voice steady even as my heart raced. "I'll give you 6 months, I said, "but not for you, for the ice pack that still suffers." Relief washed over his face, and he nodded, a small, broken smile on his lips. He bowed deeply, then turned to leave, and I knew this was just the start of a long, uncertain road. Axel pulled me close, and I let myself breathe, finally feeling like I was in control of my future. I touched the locket Alayla gave me, knowing she'd be proud of the choice I'd made. Staring at the stars with Axel, my heart's torn between the past and the future ahead. Axel wrapped his coat around me, silent support, speaking louder than words. I told him about Gilbert's plea 6 months to prove he's changed. "It's your choice," he said. "I'll wait for you, no matter what." In that moment, I knew my choice wasn't about him, it was about me. I won't go back as the scared slave they once broke. I'll go back as someone who can fix what's broken there. He didn't try to stop me, he just let me find my own path. "I love you," he whispered, and for the first time, I believed it fully. I kissed him back, my heart finally at peace with the road ahead. By dawn, my mind was made up time to face the ice pack again. I packed sturdy clothes, not the rags I wore as a slave. My business plan wasn't just numbers, it was a promise of freedom. No more frozen fingers, no more fear this time. I hold the power. I stared at my reflection, barely recognizing the woman staring back. Alayla's gift hung around my neck, a reminder of who I'm fighting for. Axel waited by the door, no words needed between us. "I'll be here when you're ready," he said, his voice steady and sure. I held him tight, knowing this wasn't goodbye, just see you soon. As I walked away, I knew the ice pack had no idea what was coming. No more flinching, no more hiding. I was in control now. The road to the ice pack was long, but my steps never wavered. There it was, the place that broke me, now waiting for me to fix it. My plan would free the slaves, fix the economy, and give everyone a voice. This wasn't about Gilbert's second chance. It was about my chance to change everything. I stepped back into the ice pack, holding the plan that could change everything if they'd let me. Gilbert was waiting for me changed, broken, but ready to fight for what's right. The elders glared at me like I was still the slave they'd once abused. I knew this wouldn't be easy. I laid down my plan, fix the economy, free the slaves, give everyone a voice. Gilbert stood behind me, his support, a quiet shield against their hatred. One elder slammed his fist on the table. "We won't take orders from a human," he roared. Gilbert stepped forward, his voice cold and firm. "Her plan will save this pack whether you like it or not." I stepped out from behind him, laying down the numbers. "Your people are starving. This plan will feed them." One elder hesitated, but another shot him a glare. They wouldn't let logic break their pride. The room fell silent. We were at a standoff, pride against survival. I looked out at the frozen slums. I couldn't give up, not when so many lives depended on me. Gilbert broke the silence. "Let us run a small trial. Prove the plan works before you reject it." The angriest elder hesitated, then nodded. "One trial. Fail, and you'll regret ever coming back." I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. We'd won the first battle, but the war was just beginning. Gilbert apologized again for his past, but I told him the past was over. We had a future to build. I touched my locket, Alayla's gift. She was right. I was strong enough to change this place. I looked out at the ice pack. No longer a slave now, I was their chance at freedom. Gilbert sent a slave to take me to the slums. I needed to see the real damage before I could fix it. As we walked toward the slums, I saw the children shivering in the snow. I had to make this work. I stood at the edge of the slums, ready to fight for every single person here. No more suffering, no more slavery. But someone was watching me, someone hiding in the shadows. I had a feeling this trial wouldn't be easy. I ignored the elders' threats, stepping into the ice pack's marketplace, ready to listen. This place was full of quiet suffering, and I was here to finally give them a voice. People stared at me, afraid to speak. Years of cruelty had broken their trust. I walked to an old vendor first, his hands trembling as he sorted his meager goods. Slowly, they started to gather. Hope was flickering in their eyes for the first time. The first thing he told me? Crippling taxes that left him unable to feed his family. I wrote every word down, my hand moving fast to capture all their pain. Each face told a story, stories the elders had spent years ignoring. Stalls were empty, goods scarce. This pack was dying right in front of my eyes. A young slave told me about the guards' cruelty, her voice barely a whisper. Her arms were covered in scars, proof of the violence we needed to end. My blood boiled, but I held it in. We needed solutions, not just rage. When I promised help, a quiet cheer broke out. Hope was taking root. A vendor pressed a stale bread roll into my hand, a small, precious gift of trust. I held it tightly, my throat tight. This was more than just bread. Then I saw a guard running toward us, his face twisted with panic. He skidded to a stop in front of me, gasping for air like he'd run for miles. His eyes were wide with fear, and I knew the worst was coming. My body tensed, my fingers tightening around my business plan like a weapon. The crowd started to panic, stepping back like they already knew what was coming. He leaned in, his voice a harsh whisper. "The elders are planning a coup." My blood ran cold. The elders weren't just angry, they wanted us dead. Panic erupted, people running in every direction as the truth spread. But I didn't run. I squared my shoulders, my fear turning to resolve. I turned to the guard, my voice steady. "We need to find Gilbert now." We ran toward the castle, my feet hitting the frozen ground hard with each step. The castle gates loomed ahead, and I wondered if we'd be in time to stop this. Every step felt like it took forever, my mind racing with worst-case scenarios. The gates opened, and I stepped inside, ready to face whatever was waiting for us. And there he was, Gilbert, looking tired and broken, like he already knew the truth. The elders staged a coup, and suddenly, we were trapped in a fight for our lives. Trapped in the freezing cold dungeon, we were outnumbered and outmatched. Gilbert stood by my side, his sword raised, ready to fight for both of us. I dodged and weaved through the chaos, my heart pounding in my chest. But the elders kept coming, and I could feel our hope slipping away. Then I saw it, a sharp sword, glinting in the dim light, heading straight for me. I thought this was the end, that I'd die in this cold, dark dungeon. But Gilbert moved faster than lightning, throwing himself between me and the blade. The sound of metal tearing through flesh echoed in my ears, and I froze. His arm was instantly soaked in blood, and his face drained of color. I scrambled to him, my hands shaking as I held him up. The elders were closing in, their footsteps heavy on the stone floor. As I looked at Gilbert's pained face, a realization hit me like a wave. We couldn't die here. We couldn't let Gil's sacrifice be in vain. I clutched the locket Alayla gave me, praying it could send a signal. Gilbert's breathing grew shallow, and my hands shook as I fumbled with the locket. I prayed that someone, anyone, would pick up our distress call. The elders raised their swords again, ready to finish us off. I stared up at the iron bars above us, clinging to the last bit of hope. We needed help, and we needed it right now. Gilbert looked at me, his eyes filled with pain, and something like regret. "I'm sorry," he whispered, his voice barely a breath. The lead elder laughed, raising his sword to deliver the final blow. I threw myself over Gilbert, ready to take the blow for him. As the sword came down, I closed my eyes, waiting for the end. Just when we thought all was lost, Axel and his Lycan warriors burst through the gates. Kate had sent word of the coup just in time. We weren't caught off guard this time. The corrupt elders who'd plotted against us were dragged out, their power finally broken. Gilbert stood beside me, his arms still bleeding from saving my life just hours before. The hall fell silent as Gilbert stepped forward, his voice steady but broken. He said he wasn't fit to be Alpha anymore, that he needed to find himself. He'd chosen Kate to take his place, his kind, brave sister who'd always tried to stop his cruelty. When he looked at me, I didn't see the cold Alpha anymore, just a broken man. I told him I forgave him. Not for his sake, but for mine, to let go of the pain. Axel pulled me close, his warm touch a reminder that I was finally safe. Gilbert left the Alpha badge on the table, ready to walk away from his old life. He didn't look back as he walked into the distance, ready to start over, for real this time. Axel took my hand, leading me to the car that would take us back to the Lycan pack. As we drove away, I touched the locket Alayla gave me a reminder of how far I'd come. Axel didn't say much, but his hand in mine told me everything I needed to know. The ice pack faded behind us, and for the first time, I didn't feel any fear when I thought of it. When we pulled up to the Lycan pack manor, the guards saluted not just Axel, but me too. Alayla came running, throwing her arms around me like she'd never let go. She'd been worried sick, and when I told her everything, she cheered like we'd won a war. Axel watched from the side, a soft smile on his face, like he was just as happy as I was. That night we ate together, laughing like we were family, and for the first time, I felt like I belonged. Helen brought me a mug of hot cocoa, like she always did, small, warm things that made this place feel like home. Then Axel leaned in, his voice soft but steady, and told me he had something important to ask. My heart raced as he pulled out a small box. I knew exactly what was inside, but I could barely breathe. I didn't need to see it to know in that moment. I knew my life would never be the same again. Axel led me back to the garden where we first talked, and my breath caught in my throat. Every corner glowed with fairy lights, and rose petals covered the grass like a soft carpet. I could see his hands shaking slightly. He was just as nervous as I was. He walked toward me slowly, each step like a promise I didn't dare to hope for. Then he dropped to one knee, and the whole world seemed to hold its breath. The ring box opened, and I stared at the silver band with a moonstone, simple, perfect, just like him. Tears blurred my vision, but I couldn't stop smiling. This was real, wasn't it? Xavier, you've been my light through every dark day. Will you marry me? The words slipped out before I could think. Yes, 1,000 times yes. He pulled me into his arms, and I could feel his heart pounding against mine, just like how I felt. The ring slid onto my finger, cool against my skin, a promise that would last forever. Then cheers broke out. Alayla and Jason had been watching from behind the trees the whole time. Alayla ran over to squeeze me tight, and Jason clapped Axel on the back, grinning from ear to ear. I stared at our clasped hands, at the ring on my finger, and still couldn't believe this was my life now. For the first time in forever, I felt completely happy. No fear, no pain, just pure joy. Alayla was crying too, but they were happy tears. She'd always wanted this for me. Axel pulled me close again, and I rested my head on his chest, listening to his steady heartbeat. The stars twinkled above us, and for the first time, I knew exactly where I belonged. All the pain, all the fear, all the loneliness it had, all led me to this perfect moment. As he kissed my forehead, I whispered, "I love you." And I meant every single word. Our wedding's in a week, and the Lycan Pack kitchen's never been this warm or this chaotic. Helen's teaching me to bake wedding cookies, Alayla's burning half of hers, and Axel's just watching. Helen's been so patient with me. I've never baked anything more complicated than toast before. Alayla's idea of baking is set it and forget it, and the oven definitely forgot. Axel's been helping me finish my business school applications. He's secretly a grammar nerd. I never thought I'd get this chance to go to school, to build something for myself. He caught a mistake I'd missed 3 times. I'm never letting him live it down. Alayla's already picked out 3 wedding dress options, all of them way too fancy for me. This one's my favorite, soft, simple, and it doesn't require a team to help me walk. A knock on the door made my heart skip a beat. I didn't expect any visitors today. I hesitated for a second. Who would come here, unannounced, right before our wedding? It was Gilbert. But he wasn't the cold Alpha I'd once feared. He was different, softer. He held out a small wooden box, and I could tell it meant something to him. Axel stood behind me, quiet and supportive, as I took the box from him. "I came to give you this, and to wish you happiness." I didn't know what to say. I'd spent so long hating him, but now I just felt peace. Inside was a locket with a photo of us, back when things were still simple. He said he was leaving to travel, to find himself, and I believed him. As he walked away, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. The past was finally behind me. The locket wasn't a reminder of the pain, it was a reminder of how far we'd all come. Axel pulled me close, and I knew no matter what, we'd be okay. We headed back to the kitchen, ready to finish baking and ready for whatever came next. My business school applications were done. My wedding was in a week. For the first time, I felt truly happy. And I knew the best was yet to come. I thought I'd never face him again, but Gilbert showed up with something unexpected. The garden felt different this time, no anger, just quiet regret. He said he'd carried this for years, a reminder of what he'd destroyed. My fingers trembled as I took it. This tiny thing held so much pain. We talked for hours, not about apologies, but about letting go. Inside was a photo of us, before the cruelty, before the pain. I didn't realize how much I needed to forgive not just him, but myself too. He walked away lighter, like a weight had finally lifted from his shoulders. Just as I breathed easy, I heard the sound of running footsteps. It was Axel. His face lit up like he'd just won the world. My heart skipped a beat. What could make him this excited? He held out a paper, and I could barely read the words through my shock. Full scholarship. The business school I'd only dreamed of was finally mine. I could barely speak all those late nights studying. They were worth it. Axel pulled me into a hug, and for the first time, I felt truly free. The sun filtered through the trees, like it was celebrating with us. Tears rolled down my face, but they weren't tears of pain anymore. We looked toward the manor, and I knew my future was finally bright. After all the darkness, I'd finally found my light. I carried 2 pendants now, one for my past, one for my future. And with Axel by my side, I knew I could face anything. I still can't believe it, a full scholarship to business school. My dream's finally real. Axel's been with me every step, never doubting I could climb this high. He's my anchor. When he put this ring on me, I knew I'd never be a victim again. I'd found my safe place. And of course, Alayla was right on my heels. My ride or die never misses a celebration. In that second, all the cold cells, all the rejection, it felt like a distant memory. Alayla whooped like we'd won the world, and in a way, we had. I'd won my freedom. Axel's laugh rumbled against my back, warm and safe. I hadn't felt this happy in ever. This locket? Alayla gave it to me back in the ice pack. It's proof I survived, that I thrived. Looking up at those stars, I realized something. This isn't the end. It's just the start. I told him about my plans, not just school, but helping others who were trapped like I was. He didn't hesitate. Whatever you need, I'm with you, he said. No doubts, no conditions. Alayla yelled from the side, already brainstorming ways we could shake up the packs. That's my girl. For the first time in my life, I wasn't scared. I was free to love, to learn, to grow. We toasted to the future, to all the things we were gonna do, all the lives we could change. I still don't know what's gonna come next, but for once, I'm excited to find out. That locket used to remind me of all I'd lost. Now it reminds me of all I've gained. Axel squeezed my hand, like he could read my mind. You've come so far, Xavier, so far. Alayla joined us, throwing an arm around my shoulder. Told you you'd make it, she said, like she never doubted. In that moment, I felt unstoppable, like nothing could hold me back ever again. This is just the beginning. My story's finally mine to write, and I'm gonna make it count. Every bubble felt like a promise of hope, of joy, of a life I never thought I'd have. We stayed there for hours, talking, laughing, dreaming, no fear, no pain, just us. Looking down at the pack, I knew this was home. Not a cell, not a cage, home. When I looked at Axel, I saw forever. Not a forced bond, but a love I chose, that chose me. Alayla refilled our glasses, already plotting our next adventure. Wait till we get to business school, she said. Who would have thought a former slave would wake up here, in the arms of a lichen king, on her wedding eve? The room's filled with golden sunlight, so different from the cold cells I once called home. Axel brushes a strand of hair from my face, his touch gentle as a whisper. He presses a warm cup of coffee into my hands, a little ritual that makes every morning feel like a dream. For the first time in my life, I don't feel afraid. I feel safe. I feel loved. A loud knock breaks the quiet, and I know it's her, my rock, my best friend Alayla. She bursts in, holding something white and flowing that makes my breath catch in my throat. It's the dress, the one we'd talked about for months, back when I thought happiness was just a fairy tale. Alayla drags me to the wardrobe, her excitement contagious enough to make me forget all my nerves. She helps me slip out of my nightgown, her hands gentle as she reminds me how far I've come. The dress slides over my skin soft, perfect, like it was made just for me. I stand there, frozen, as Alayla adjusts the lace at my waist, her eyes shining with tears. She steps back, her smile wide, and nods toward the full-length mirror in the corner. My heart races as I turn. I'm scared to look, scared I won't recognize the woman staring back. I don't see the broken slave from the ice pack anymore. I see someone new. The woman in the mirror stands tall, her back straight, a quiet strength in every line of her body. I touch the locket around my neck, a gift from Alayla, a reminder of the friend who never gave up on me. For the first time, I truly see it. I'm not a victim anymore. I'm a survivor. I'm a queen in my own right. Alayla wraps me in a hug, her voice muffled as she says, "You deserve this, Xavier. All of it." A knock at the door makes us pull apart. It's time, isn't it? Time to face the future I never dared to dream of. I take a deep breath, my hand smoothing the fabric of my dress one last time. Alayla takes my hand, her grip firm and reassuring, as we walk toward the door together. My heart thuds in my chest, but it's not fear anymore. It's excitement. It's hope. As we reach the door, I glance back at the room where I found safety, where I found love, where I found myself. Alayla nods, her eyes shining, and turns the doorknob. The next chapter of my life is about to begin. The door creaks open, and I catch a glimpse of the hallway filled with soft candlelight. Axel stands at the end of the hallway, looking more handsome than ever in his tailored suit. His eyes lock with mine, and I feel that old familiar spark, but this time, it's not fear. It's love, pure and true. He takes a step toward me, his movements slow, like he's afraid I'll disappear if he moves too fast. When he reaches me, he takes my hand in his palm warm and calloused from years of fighting. "You look absolutely stunning, my love," he says, his voice low and full of emotion. I smile back, my eyes filling with tears, and whisper, "All thanks to you. You saved me, Axel, in every way." Alayla clears her throat behind us, grinning, and we both laugh, breaking the quiet tension. "It's time," she says, and I know she's right. The wedding is tomorrow, but tonight, we celebrate us. We walk down the hallway together, Axel's arm wrapped around my waist, Alayla skipping ahead like a giddy child. The air smells like cinnamon and pine. Like home, like everything I ever wanted but never thought I'd have. As we reach the stairs, I look down at my wedding dress, at the ring on my finger, and I know this is real. No more cold cells, no more cruelty, no more fear. Just love and hope and a future brighter than I could ever imagine. The pack members cheer as we enter the hall, their faces filled with warmth and happiness for us. Helen comes over, holding a tray of sparkling cider, her smile gentle as she hands me a glass. We raise our glasses together, surrounded by the people we love, and I know I'm home, finally home. Axel leans down and kisses my forehead, his lips warm against my skin, and whispers, "I love you, now and forever." I look up at him, my heart overflowing, and say the words I've been waiting to say for so long, "I love you too, Axel." As the night wears on, I dance with Alayla, laugh with Jason, and watch as Axel talks with the pack elders. For the first time in my life, I don't feel like an outsider. I feel like I belong, like I'm where I was always meant to be. I touch the locket again, this time not as a reminder of the past, but as a promise for the future. The night ends with us sitting on the porch, watching the stars, talking about all the things we'll do together. Axel pulls me close, and I rest my head on his chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart. As I drift off to sleep, I know that no matter what tomorrow brings, I'll face it with Axel by my side, with strength, with love, with hope. This is my story, a story of survival, of love, of redemption, and tomorrow, it gets its happy ending. Today is the day I never dared to dream of my wedding day, surrounded by those who love me. Alayla's right beside me, her laughter the same that kept me going through the darkest nights. My hands still shake a little old habits, old fears, but today, they're shaken with joy. Every step takes me further from the cold cell I once called home, closer to the man who saved me. And there he is, Axel, waiting for me like I've always deserved to be waited for. His eyes are glistening, and I know he's thinking the same as me how far we've come. I reach him, and Alayla gives my hand one last squeeze before stepping back. Our journey together has led me here. His hand in mine is warm, steady, nothing like the cold, cruel hands that once hurt me. Axel starts speaking, his voice soft but firm, telling me I'm his everything. I can barely hold back the tears as I say my own vows, promising to love him, to trust him forever. He slips the ring on my finger, the cold metal warming against my skin, our promise sealed. In this moment, all the pain, all the fear fades away. There's only us. The world falls silent as we lean in, ready to share our first kiss as husband and wife. When our lips meet, it's like coming home warm, safe, perfect. The crowd erupts in cheers, our family, our friends, celebrating us. Alayla tackles me in a hug, screaming about how she knew this day would come. Axel pulls me close, his arm around my waist, and I know this is where I belong. Our first dance starts slow and sweet, as everyone watches us with smiles. He whispers in my ear, words only I can hear, "I love you, now and forever." As we dance, I look up at the stars, and I know my happy ending is only just the beginning. I haven't smiled like this in years. No fear, no pain, just pure, unadulterated joy. The guests raise their glasses, toasting us, to our love, to the new life we're building together. Axel presses my hand to his chest so I can feel his heartbeat steady, strong, beating for me. When the song ends, we hold each other tight, not wanting to let go of this perfect moment. As we stand there, wrapped in each other's arms, I know this is forever my forever. After the chaos of the wedding, this quiet honeymoon suite feels like a dream I never dared to have. I can still hear the wedding cheers echoing, but right now, only Axel's soft breath matters to me. Who would have thought a broken slave from the ice pack would ever wear an engagement ring? These roses aren't just pretty decorations, they're proof I'm finally safe, finally loved. We laugh about the silly wedding mishaps no one else noticed, and my heart feels fuller than ever. Axel looks at me like I'm the only star in his sky, like he still can't believe I'm his. He talks about our future not as a lichen king, but simply as my husband. When I press my hand to his chest, his steady heartbeat is the most calming sound I've ever heard. We watch the stars through the window, and I realize I don't need anything else but this quiet moment. For the first time in my life, I don't feel like a victim. I feel like I truly belong somewhere. Axel brushes my hair back, and for a second, I forget all the pain from the ice pack. I still wear Alayla's locket, a reminder of the friend who never gave up on me. We talk about the packs we want to help, the slaves we want to free, together. He says he'll stand by me every step of the way, no matter what challenges we face. I press my ear to his chest, and his heartbeat drowns out all the bad memories from my past. As the candles burn down, I don't feel scared of the dark anymore, not with Axel beside me. For so long, I thought happiness was a dream only other people got to live. Now it's mine. He kisses my forehead, and I know this is where I'm meant to be forever. Every petal, every candle, every beat of Axel's heart feels like a gift I don't deserve, but I'll cherish it anyway. As I drift off to sleep, I listen to Axel's heartbeat, and I finally feel like I'm home. I hold his hand tight, scared to let go, even in my sleep. This room isn't just a suite, it's a sanctuary, a place where I can finally be myself. Today's the day I start business school, a dream I once thought impossible. Axel and Alayla won't let me pack alone. They're by my side every single step. Axel's been so gentle, promising he'll drive every weekend to visit me. Alayla's clinging to me, like she's scared I'll vanish again like before. We've come so far from the cold, lonely days I spent in the ice pack. This locket's my anchor, a reminder of the friend who never gave up on me. Axel grabs my heavy suitcase, and Alayla fixes my hair like I'm still her little girl. Helen's waiting in the hallway, smiling like she's proud of the woman I've become. She hands me a bag of cookies, saying they'll keep me full during long study nights. We reach the front door, and Axel's already opening the car for me. He's thought of everything. Alayla pulls me into a tight hug, her voice cracking as she says, "Don't forget me." Axel's watching us with a soft smile, like he's holding back tears too. I climb into the car, my heart aching a little to leave this place I now call home. Axel closes the door, and Alayla waves like she's trying to wave away her sadness. The car starts moving, and I watch the lichen pack grow smaller in the distance. My eyes don't leave the manor until it's almost out of sight. I touch the locket around my neck, remembering all the love I found here. Axel's quiet beside me, but I can feel his love filling the whole car. He starts humming our favorite song, and suddenly the sadness feels a little lighter. But I know this isn't goodbye. I'll be back soon, stronger and ready to chase my dreams. This is just the beginning. My future is finally mine to shape. I smile as I watch the trees pass by, knowing great things are waiting for me. After all I've been through, I'm finally here, business school, my long-awaited dream. This place feels nothing like the cold ice pack. It's alive, full of energy and possibility. I packed my hopes, my fears, and the locket that's always kept me grounded, ready for whatever comes next. Axel's been with me every step, his quiet support making this all feel possible. I don't know what I'd do without him. It's time for him to leave, for me to start this chapter alone. My stomach flutters, equal parts nervous and excited. I take a deep breath, straighten my shoulders. This is my chance. I'm not going to waste it. My new dorm is small, but it's warm. It's mine. No chains, no cold cells, just a space to grow. Axel helps me unpack his gentle touch, a reminder of how far I've come. He always knows how to calm me down. He gives me one last smile, then leaves. The room feels quiet, but not empty. There's a buzz in the air, like something's about to start. Alone in my new space, I realize this is it. No more running, no more hiding, just me and my future. A knock on the door. My heart jumps. Who could that be? A new friend? A new challenge? I walk to the door, my fingers hovering over the handle. This could be the start of something new, something good. There she is, Mia, my new roommate. She's grinning like we've been friends forever, instantly putting me at ease. She introduces herself, her energy contagious. Before I know it, she's inviting me to explore the campus together. I don't hesitate to say yes. For the first time in so long, I feel like I have a friend, someone to share this journey with. I grab my textbooks, already feeling more confident. Let's see what this school has to offer. The sun hits our faces as we step outside, warm and bright. It feels like the world is finally on my side. The campus is buzzing with clubs and activities. I never imagined I could be part of something so vibrant. Mia shows me all the best spots, talking a mile a minute. I find myself laughing, truly laughing, for the first time in forever. As we walk into the distance, I know this is just the beginning. No more cold, no more pain, just hope, and a future worth fighting for. For the first time in my life, I feel free. Free to learn, free to love, free to be me. Business school is way harder than I thought. My first exam's tomorrow, and I'm buried in books. Every night, Axel calls to check on me. His voice is my only break from all this stress. When I'm on the verge of breaking, he always knows just what to say. Last night, he told the dumbest wolf joke. I laughed so hard I forgot my anxiety for a minute. But even with him cheering me on, the pressure's been crushing me. Then, Mia sat down beside me, looking way more relaxed than I feel. "You need to sleep," she said. "Cramming won't fix what your brain needs right now." I wanted to argue, but she was right. My eyes felt like they were glued shut. She slid a cup of coffee toward me black, just how I like it. For the first time all week, I felt like maybe I could actually breathe. I've studied every chapter twice, highlighted every key term, done all the practice problems. The library's still packed with students, all of us fighting the same last-minute panic. But when I closed my textbook, something shifted. I didn't feel scared anymore. It was past midnight. I really should have been in bed hours ago. I stuffed my notes into my bag, my hands steadier than they've been all day. Mia walked with me to the exit, chattering about her own exam prep. The campus was quiet, the stars bright above us. It felt like a good sign. I touched the locket Alayla gave me, feeling her support like she was right there. Mia left to go to her dorm, and I stood there for a minute, looking up at the sky. I sent Axel a text. "I think I'm ready. Wish me luck." As I walked back to my dorm, I didn't feel the weight of the exam anymore. Tomorrow's going to be hard, but I know I've put in all the work. And no matter what happens, I have Axel cheering me on every step of the way. I climbed into bed, finally letting myself relax. Tomorrow, I'll face that exam head on. I'm about to take my first business school exam, my hands shake, but I know I'm ready. Every desk holds a focused student, and the professor's footsteps echo through the quiet room. My pencil flies across the paper. All those late nights studying are finally paying off. I flip to the last page, my heart racing as I tackle the final question. I set down my pencil, staring at my completed exam with a quiet, proud smile. I double-check every answer, making sure I didn't miss a single detail. I neatly stack my exam, my hands steady now that the pressure's fading. I raise my hand, ready to hand in my exam long before the bell rings. The professor walks over, his expression calm as he approaches my desk. He glances over my exam, then nods slowly, a silent sign of approval. "Good job," he says quietly, and my chest swells with pride. I walk out of the classroom, the door clicking shut behind me. The hallway stretches out before me, and I head toward the main hall. And there he is, Axel, leaning against the wall, smiling like he's been waiting forever. My face lights up, all the stress from the exam vanishes in an instant. I run toward him, my feet moving faster than I can think. He opens his arms, and I can feel his warmth even before I reach him. I fall into his arms, and he holds me tight like he never wants to let go. "I'm so proud of you," he whispers in my ear, his voice warm and soft. We stand there, holding hands, as the world keeps moving around us. We walk out of the hand in hand, ready to leave this stressful day behind. The sun shines down as we head toward the car, our steps light and happy. His hand in mine feels like home, the ring on my finger glinting in the sun. I lean against his shoulder, feeling safe and loved beyond words. As we drive away, I know this is just the start of something amazing. I was on cloud 9 after nailing that first exam. Axel even got me a little gift. We were having lunch in the busy campus cafeteria, celebrating my small win. Just as we were laughing, someone familiar walked over my roommate, Mia. She pulled out a chair and sat down, looking like she had something important to say. I had no idea her words would change everything for me. She leaned in, her voice lowering like she was sharing a big secret. "I have a business idea," she said, and my ears perked up immediately. She talked about helping oppressed wolf packs, fixing their broken economies. My heart raced. This was exactly what I'd always wanted to do. I looked at Axel, and he nodded like he already knew how much this meant to me. Mia kept talking, laying out a plan that felt more real by the second. She pulled out her notebook, filled with sketches and plans she'd been working on. I couldn't believe it. Someone else cared about these packs as much as I did. Axel squeezed my shoulder softly, letting me know he was right there with me. We talked for what felt like hours, mapping out how we could make this real. For the first time in so long, I felt like I had a real purpose. As Mia left, she told me to think it over, but I already knew my answer. Axel laced his fingers through mine, his eyes soft with pride. I thought of Alayla, knowing she'd be so proud of what I was about to do. "We'll do this together," he said, and I knew nothing could stop us now. As we walked out of the cafeteria, I could feel a new chapter of my life starting. It's 3 a.m. in our tiny dorm room, and Mia and I are building something revolutionary. We're not just writing a business plan, we're fighting to free slaves and give small packs a voice. For years, I was one of those slaves. Now, I'm writing their ticket to freedom. Mia's crunching numbers to fix broken economies, no more hungry kids, no more desperation. This isn't just a business, it's the dream I thought I'd never get to live. Just as we hit a wall, my phone lights up. It's Axel, my rock, my everything. He picks up, and that warm voice of his instantly calms my racing mind. He says he'll help us in every way he can, using his alpha connections to reach every small pack. Mia looks over, her eyes sparkling. She's been quiet, but she's got a question burning. "What should we call it?" she asks. And in that second, I know exactly what to name our movement. It hits me like a lightning bolt, something that says exactly what we stand for, who we're fighting for. Pack progress, I say out loud. It's perfect, simple, powerful, full of hope. Mia's face lights up, she loves it. We high-five, exhausted but buzzing with energy. In that tiny room with only a lamp and a dream, we just started a revolution. We start adding the name to every page. This is no longer just a plan, it's a promise. I touch the locket Alayla gave me. This is for her, for every slave who ever felt hopeless. Mia organizes our plans into a folder. We need to be ready for anything, for anyone who needs us. The sky starts to lighten. We've been working all night, but we don't feel tired. We feel alive. Our eyes are tired, our backs are sore, but our resolve, it's stronger than ever. We don't know what's coming next, but we know we're ready to change the world, one pack at a time. I text Axel our name, and he writes back instantly. He's as excited as we are. He says he'll reach out to every pack leader he knows. Our little idea is already growing. We look at the map we marked. Dozens of packs are suffering. We can't help them all at once, but we can start. I grab our plan, ready to show it to the professor. We need every advantage we can get. As we walk out, I look back at our room. Last night, we had a dream. Today, we're going to make it real. We finally had a name for our mission, Pack Progress, and today was Judgment Day. After months of planning, we were ready to show the world what we could do. This wasn't just a business plan, it was a promise to free every enslaved being. Dr. Hale was the toughest critic on campus, but we were ready for his questions. Every step felt like we were marching toward our future or our failure. His gaze was sharp, like he was dissecting every word before we even spoke. Mia placed our plan on his desk, her hands steady despite her racing heart. Page after page, his expression didn't change. Was this a good sign or a bad one? I could barely breathe, waiting for him to say something, anything. Then he leaned back, and for a second, I thought we'd failed. Instead, he grinned, the first real smile I'd ever seen on his face. "This is revolutionary," he said. "You could change the entire supernatural world." I didn't know how to react. All our hard work was finally paying off. Mia squeezed my hand, her eyes shining with tears of relief. He offered to connect us with packs in need, our first real clients. In that moment, I knew we weren't just students anymore, we were agents of change. The sun felt warmer as we walked back to the campus square. And there was Axel, waiting for me like he always did. I ran to him, all my fears and doubts melting away in his arms. He told me he knew we'd succeed, he always believed in me. In his embrace, I felt like I could take on the entire world. We had so much work to do, but for the first time, I wasn't scared. Every page was a step toward a better future for all supernatural beings. The sun was setting, but our journey was just beginning. Pack Progress wasn't just a business, it was our legacy, and we were just getting started. We were finally turning my dream into action, right in the like and pack manner. Mia, Axel, Jason, we were refining every detail, ready to make a difference. Then, Jason dropped the bomb, Moonpack was on the brink of collapse. My pulse raced. This was our first real chance to help those in need. After being the one who needed saving, I was finally the one saving others. Axel's hand on my shoulder told me we were in this together, no matter what. Mia had already mapped out how we could stabilize their economy fast. They needed help badly enough that they'd reach out to outsiders. I didn't hesitate, we had to leave immediately, before it was too late. This was it, our first client, our first chance to make our dream real. The locket Alayla gave me reminded me why I had to keep fighting. Axel had the car ready, we weren't wasting a single second. Jason's serious look told me this was a responsibility, not just a mission. As we drove off, I couldn't stop thinking about the people waiting for us. The road ahead was unknown, but I had never felt more sure of anything. I'd poured everything into this plan, my pain, my hope, my future. Axel drove with steady focus, like he could sense the urgency in Moonpack. Mia had already calculated exactly what they needed to survive. We talked non-stop, refining our plan until we could recite it in our sleep. Then we saw it Moonpack's towers, crumbling, just like the stories said. This was why we'd worked so hard, why we refused to give up. As we pulled up to the gates, I knew our lives were about to change forever. I never expected to see a pack in such utter ruin. Every corner screamed of despair. This was worse than I ever imagined. Their alpha looked like he'd lost all hope, his spirit completely broken. I walked forward, my plan heavy in my hand, wondering if we could really make a difference. This wasn't just a business mission, it was a chance to give these people hope. A small child stared at me, her eyes holding the tiniest spark of curiosity. Their alpha spoke, his voice hoarse. "We're broke. We can't even feed our people." I held up my business plan, every page, a promise of change. I explained our plan: fix the economy, free the slaves, give everyone a voice. The crowd gathered closer, their faces softening. Hope was returning. He looked at me, his eyes glistening. "Can you really help us?" I nodded, my voice firm. "Yes, we can." A slave woman took my hand, her eyes teary. "Thank you for giving us hope." In that moment, I knew exactly why we were here. Hope was spreading slowly but surely across this broken pack. I thought of Alayla, she'd be proud of what we were doing. My team stood beside me, ready to do whatever it took to help. Mia had already started taking notes, mapping out their most urgent needs. We walked toward the crumbling tower, already planning our first steps. This was just the beginning, but we were finally making a difference. A small child held a piece of bread, her smile brighter than any I'd ever seen. The pack was waking up, their energy returning with every passing minute. Every page of my plan felt like a promise, one we intended to keep. Jason was already helping their warriors plan a better defense system. The marketplace was starting to breathe again. Hope was tangible here now. I knew this was my calling to fight for those who couldn't fight for themselves. Mia and I documented every resource, every need, building a plan tailored just for them. Axel stood guard, ensuring we were safe as we worked. As the sun set, I knew we'd given this pack a second chance. This was just the start. We had so much more to do, and I was ready. After weeks of fighting, we were finally turning Moonpack's fate around. Faces that once held only despair now lit up with hope. Every small transaction felt like a win against all the cruelty I'd known. Mia and I moved from stall to stall, listening, adjusting, fighting for them. For the first time, I felt like my pain was serving a purpose. Axel and Jason were fixing the gates, making us safe once more. The broken gates that once symbolized despair now stood strong. The Alpha found me, his eyes full of gratitude I never thought I'd see. "You saved us," he said, and for once, I believed I had done good. In that moment, I knew this was why I'd survived everything. I sat down, finally letting myself breathe after weeks of non-stop work. Then a vibration in my pocket made my heart skip a beat. My hands shook as I pulled out the phone, dreading what I might see. A name I never thought I'd look at again stared back at me: Gilbert. Memories of pain, cruelty, and rejection flooded my mind in an instant. I hesitated, wondering if I should even answer the call. Against my better judgment, I pressed the answer button. His voice was different, softer, humbler than I ever remembered. "I'm back," he said, and I could hear the change in him. He said he wanted to help, to make up for all the wrong he'd done. The wounds were still there, but so was the hope that people can change. I thought of all the people I'd fought for, and knew I had to at least listen. "Tell me where you are," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. I knew I had to tell Axel first, no matter what came next. The path ahead was uncertain, but for the first time, I wasn't afraid to face it. I never thought I'd see this day. The man who broke me stood before me, completely changed. After all the years of cruelty, Gilbert wasn't the cold alpha I once feared. He looked humble. He said he'd traveled the world, learned his mistakes, and now he wanted to make things right. I tensed up, my guard rising, but his eyes held no anger, only genuine regret. Gilbert told us he wanted to help other alphas avoid the same mistakes he'd made to be better leaders. I couldn't believe it. The man who'd hurt me so deeply wanted to use his pain to help others. Axel was quiet, studying Gilbert's face, trying to see if he was truly sincere. He told us he knew what it was like to let power corrupt him, and he didn't want others to fall into that trap. I looked at Axel, and I saw the trust in his eyes. He was willing to give Gilbert a chance. Mia was already excited. She saw the potential in having Gilbert join our team. Jason nodded too. He knew Gilbert's experience could help us reach more alphas in need. I took a deep breath, and I spoke. "We'd love your help, Gilbert." I couldn't believe I was saying those words. Axel stood up, extending his hand to Gilbert. "Welcome to the team," he said, his voice steady. Gilbert smiled. A genuine, warm smile, the first I'd ever seen from him. The past felt further away than ever. We all sat down, ready to plan, to build something good from all the pain we'd endured. Then Mia leaned in, her eyes shining, and shared something that made our hearts race. She had a contact in the Sun Pack. They needed our help, badly, and they were willing to pay. I couldn't believe it. Our business wasn't just helping, it was growing, and we had our first paid client. Gilbert smiled too. He knew this was his chance to make real, lasting change. In that moment, I knew we weren't just a team. We were proof that even the deepest wounds could lead to something good. I touched my locket, the gift from Alayla, and I felt grateful for second chances, for hope. Axel squeezed my shoulder, his touch warm, and I knew I wasn't alone in this journey. Gilbert told us he'd use his connections to reach alphas who'd never listened to anyone else. Jason joked that finally, we had someone who could talk the tough alphas into listening. As the sunlight filled the room, I knew our business was going to change the world one pack at a time. Sitting on this rooftop, staring at the stars, I can't believe how far I've come. From a cold, starving slave in the ice pack to someone who can change lives. I still remember the cold cells, the beatings, the day I thought I'd die. I was nothing but a broken toy for a cruel alpha. Then, Axel found me. He gave me a home, a chance to heal. He saw me not as a slave, but as a person worth fighting for. With his support, I went back to school. I found my purpose. I wanted to help others like me. To free slaves, to fix broken packs. When we arrived at Moonpack, they were on the brink of collapse. People were starving, slaves were suffering. They had no hope left. But we gave them a plan, a chance to rebuild. For the first time in years, they saw a future worth fighting for. And now, look at them. They're alive, they're thriving. I never could have done this alone. So many people helped me. Alayla, my first friend, who never stopped believing in me. Even Gilbert, who hurt me so deeply, found his way to redemption. We're a team now, broken people, building something good together. Axel leans in, his arms wrapping around me, and I feel so grateful. Down below, the people are cheering, dancing, celebrating their new life. He kisses me, soft and warm, and I know this is just the beginning. We stand up hand in hand, ready to join the celebration. Looking up at the stars, I know my story isn't over yet. There are more packs to help, more lives to change. But for tonight, I'm going to enjoy this moment of peace, of joy, because I've earned this. We all have. I stood at Sunpack's gates, heart racing. This was our first paying client ever. With Axel, Gilbert, and Mia by my side, we stepped into a new chapter of our business. Their alpha approached, his face lined with fatigue but eyes sparking with curiosity. I clutched our business plan tightly, ready to show them how we could change their fate. The pack was doing better than Moonpack, but they still needed our help to fix their economy. This plan wasn't just numbers, it was a promise to free their slaves and rebuild their economy. I explained every detail, how we'd help their vendors, give everyone a voice. He listened silently, then slowly nodded. Our plan made sense to him. "This is perfect," he said. "We'll pay you well to make this happen." Relief washed over me. We'd secured our first paid contract. Mia and Jason started mapping out our first steps, already full of energy. A slave woman caught my eye. She mouthed, "Thank you," tears in her eyes. I walked among the pack members, listening to their struggles and hopes. A vendor told me about high taxes and lack of supplies. We'd fix that first. The marketplace felt alive again, now that they had something to hope for. I touched the locket Alayla gave me. She'd be so proud of what we were doing. Axel joined me, his hand brushing mine. "We're making a difference," he said softly. We spent hours finalizing the details, making sure every part of our plan fit their needs. As we prepared to leave, the entire pack gathered to wave us off. I looked back at Sunpack, knowing our business was about to change the supernatural world. We climbed into our car, already talking about our next challenge. The Sunpack faded behind us, but their hope stayed with me. Leaning against Axel, I felt so grateful for this second chance at life. Laughter filled the car for the first time. I truly felt like we were unstoppable. As we drove away, I knew this was just the start of something extraordinary. I never thought I'd sit here, surrounded by people who truly love me. After all the pain and fear, this is the family I've always dreamed of. Helen's cooking smells like home, something I never knew I needed. Jason still got that sarcastic grin, but now it's warm, not cruel. Even Gilbert's here, finally at peace with himself and with me. Axel stands up, his voice warm as he raises his glass. A toast to us, to our future, to everything we've built together. I look around, and for the first time, I feel truly safe. This manor used to feel like a dream, but now it's my reality. Alayla's laugh fills the room. She's been with me through everything. Mia, my business partner, my friend who knew school would bring her to me. Gilbert's changed, truly changed. No more anger, no more cruelty. I used to be a slave, scared and alone. Now I'm loved, I'm free. Every laugh, every smile, every word, it's all real, all mine. Axel looks at me like I'm the whole world, like I'm his everything. The ring on my finger reminds me of the promise we made. We drink, we laugh, we talk like any normal family would. Helen watches us, her eyes full of pride, like we're her own kids. Jason tells a terrible joke, and we all groan, but we're smiling. I reach for Axel's hand, and he squeezes mine tight, like he never wants to let go. In this moment, I have everything I've ever wanted. Love, family, purpose. No more running, no more hiding. I'm home, finally home. Who would have thought a rejected human mate would end up here? To new beginnings, to second chances, to love that heals. The stars shine bright above the lichen pack, like they're celebrating too. For years, I thought freedom was just a dream, until this dawn in the lichen pack garden. Axel's beside me, warm and steady, like he's been here to hold me forever. This ring on my finger? It's not just a promise, it's proof I survived the cold. We talk about the future, our business, our home, the life we get to build together. I never thought I'd be here happy, safe, and finally free from the ice pack's shadows. Our business, Pack Progress, we're changing packs, one struggling community at a time. We help free slaves, fix economies, give everyone a voice just like I dreamed of in the ice pack cells. This manor isn't just a home, it's where I learned to trust again, to hope again. This locket? Alayla gave it to me when I was a slave. She never stopped believing in me. I didn't do this alone, friends. Even a redeemed Gilbert stood with me. Axel never pushed me to heal. He just sat with me until I was ready to stand on my own. Every flower here feels like a second chance, one I almost never got. Now, we're ready to go home to the life we've built, together. His hand in mine is steady, like he'll never let me fall again. We walk side by side, no more fear, no more chains, just us and the rest of our lives. For the first time in my life, I don't look over my shoulder. I look forward. Every step feels like a victory proof. I'm no longer the scared slave from the ice pack. Axel looks at me like I'm the whole world, and for once, I believe him. The manor's waiting, full of people who love us, who see me, not just a former slave. I thought my story was about surviving the cold, but it's really about finding the warmth worth fighting for. This door isn't just an entrance, it's the start of forever. Axel's ready to open the door, but I'm just happy to stand here with him, right now. Helen's inside, already with a warm meal. She's always been like family to me. I used to dream of a life like this, and now, it's mine, all mine. The best part? This isn't the end. It's just the beginning of something even better.